Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Seconds. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Felt like we sleptwalked through that one.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's edition of the Block the Shot to Stop, a Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network, where we discuss the 33-4 winners of 12 straight Cleveland Cavaliers. I am Tim Daniel. Joining me tonight is Skylar Webker. And Skylar, this was you could tell the team was definitely feeling the effects to start this game of last night in that really intense game against OKC. It took them a little bit to get going tonight, but when they did, they got going.
That's for sure. I mean, I kind of led with it that we sleptwalked through that one, but it genuinely felt like everybody in the team was asleep until about the fourth quarter. And that's when they started putting the defense on, putting the offense on. Actually, like, it seemed like try.
Yeah. It was definitely seemed like the effort picked up. I think they just probably, there was a part of them that just was like, look, like, we can't beat the Thunder and lose to the Raptors the next night. This is something Kevin talks about a lot in these back-to-backs, especially a schedule loss more than a team loss, in the sense of, you're probably better than the team you play, but with the way the schedule works out, this is probably not your night. But it looked like it was going to be that way for quite a bit of this game until things kind of turned around. I mean, halfway through the third quarter, it's like 73-68, and it ends up being 132-126. And we're going to get into the game itself. Obviously, no Donovan Mitchell tonight, but look, we all know where this game starts. We all know the story of this game. It's Darius Garland, 40-burger tonight, a 40-burger. He was unbelievable. So looking at the stat line, obviously the things he did with scoring is always going to be phenomenal, and he was terrific once again. But 40 points and 9 assists, was 4 of 7 from 3, and you talked about it last night. You need to hit your free throws. He was 8 of 9 from the line tonight.
Heck yeah. I mean, it really, he was, you can tell that not being in that all-star, he snuck in today with the updated voting, but not being in that all-star, he is taking that personally. He came out after last night's game, and he's such a humble guy, all about team, but he flat out said, I should be an all-star. We should have 4 all-stars. So you can tell that these guys are thinking about that and kind of, I don't want to say taking it personally, but trying to prove them wrong.
Yeah. You could say that they are letting them know.
There you go. I should have said,
yeah. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for bad puns and dad jokes. Dad's talking Cavs. Dad's talking
Cavs.
Coming to a t-shirt near you soon. We call that a tease in the biz. Yeah, man. So Garland tonight, 22 shots. To put in context of how big the offense kind of just is like, F it, just let Darius take over. The second most shots on the team was Karis LeVert with 12. So Darius Garland took 10 more shots than the next person. And also with the, like I said, the 9 assists, definitely earned it. So you mentioned it. Yeah, this is a guy who 1000% should be in the All-Star conversation. He's really been one of the most consistent guards in the league. And it's going to be something where, Devin, look at this. I think we can make that work. A crew neck?
Try to get some crew necks made.
I would for sure rock a crew neck. Check this out. Right before the Notre Dame game tonight, Iris took the A off my sweatshirt. Maybe that was an omen for how the night's going, but
that game's looking rough.
Yeah, it's not very fun right now. I'm not having a good time. But we're here to talk about the Cavs. You guys don't need to get into my football blues. So Cavs come out of the first quarter down 6, and like we said, they're sleepwalking. Looks like Serena Winters is talking to Austin Carr, and she even says they look like a team that just played a very emotional basketball game last night. And Austin Carr's like, yeah, you're right. Second quarter, they look a lot better. They have a 6-point advantage there, and it looks like they're kind of get into the third quarter, take over. Third quarter, Toronto doesn't miss. It looks like there for a bit. They scored 42 points.
At all.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like they hit everything. It felt like they got whatever shot they wanted in the third quarter. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is just that night. And it happens in the NBA for sure. But then Darius Garland said, no, we're not going down to this team after what we just did last night, and took over the game. And but the fourth quarter, they were terrific. I mean, the offense was moving so well. They were back to passing, making those extra passes, getting people open. Strus is hitting hits a huge three there as well. He had another nice game, going 12-3 with 4 of 7 from the field. And then you're getting plays from Karras again, who's making big plays. Fourth quarter was great because it was one of those games where everyone contributed and took care of business and made sure that they just did not take the loss tonight that the schedule was trying to get them to take.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the ball. You know, we talked about Toronto. They are in the capture the flag sweepstakes, but it's got to be so demoralizing that they probably had their best night of the season shooting wise. I mean, 60% from the floor, 45% from three, and then they need to work on their free throws. Good golly, 46% on free throws. But they shot the lights out. They had such good, just such good offensive production to just like get rolled over by when the Cavs decided to try.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens to a lot of teams when the Cavs decide to try. So Toronto is just no different. Just tonight's victim. And like I said, those guys played pretty well tonight. Grady Dick was good tonight. RJ Barrett was really good tonight. And Joel Shead was really good. I think it's Sheed, actually. I always get that wrong.
How about Broussard, though? Good.
Yeah.
Lord.
God, I felt like we talk about people who didn't miss. I feel like he didn't miss.
5 for 8 from 3.
Yeah, you could have told me he was 8 for 8, and I would have believed you. I'm not even gonna lie. Not looking at the box score, but yeah, Scotty Barnes tonight had a near triple double. Chris Boucher was incredible off the bench for them, and the Cavs still found a way to win. So that's all that really matters here.
Yeah, I mean, we said it like, you know, they're in the capture the flag sweepstakes. That they should get him. I mean, this team would be so fun.
Yeah,
and you know, they would be in that, I mean, not upper echelon, but like they'd be in that 10, 9, 8 kind of range. If they kind of got that, and then we're able to piece it together and make it work, because they have good guys that you like on there. Like you said, they have Barrett, they have Quickly, they have Scotty Barnes. Jakob Poeltl was productive tonight. And then, yeah, they got contributors from their bench. So they could be a good team. I think they'd be a very fun team if they did get the number 1 pick and got Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, they haven't had the number 1 pick in a long time. Last time they had the number 1 pick, they took Andrea Bargnani. That just tells you how long it's been. You also have a case of the sniffles over there tonight. I am feeling it, man. Ooh, 'tis the season.
I don't know what's my problem. Maybe the 2 Guinness during the game.
Yeah, that also does it to me too. So all right. So on that note, let's kind of go through here. We mentioned Garland already. Where do you want to go next? I mean, Mobley, Allen, LeVert, Strus.
Let's go with Allen, because Allen was a beast on the glass. 15 rebounds tonight.
Another awesome Jared Allen night, for sure. And it was a night where you mentioned Jakob Poeltl. I mean, I don't think Jakob Poeltl really enjoyed guarding Jared Allen tonight, and it showed.
Yeah.
I thought Allen was great. And you mentioned 18 and 15, 8 of 9 from the floor, 2 blocks. So that was nice as well, where I know we bet the Mobley 2 blocks. And
she went Allen.
But hey, it's betting. It happens. I bet a Riley Leonard anytime touchdown, and I don't know if he's going to play in this game the rest of the game. So we shall see. But yeah, I mean, they still found a way to kind of pull that out. And Jared Allen, just a wrecking force once again. I mean, had some really huge dunks, some really nice transitions, but the effort plays. So you mentioned when they really put the effort in the fourth quarter, he's chasing down loose balls and getting long rebounds, which is not really. He's jumping he's like falling into the stands and keeping balls in play. He was awesome, man. He was so good.
Oh, how about the I know this wasn't the fourth quarter, but the reverse dunk that he threw
Yeah.
down in that first half?
Yeah,
Woo!
we'll take
That was
those.
fun to watch.
Yeah, we'll take this. Yeah, Jared Allen, another terrific game. Back-to-back nights with double doubles. So, did you see? Speaking of, I know we're talking about tonight's game, but did you see the stat from last night's game? Mobley and Allen are the first. I think it was. Let me find the exact stat. It was Mobley and Allen that with their combined scores. They were the first two people, first Cavs teammates since LeBron and Dwayne Wade in 2017 to have 25 and 7 each.
Really?
Yeah. Don't remember ever Dwayne Wade having a game like that in Cleveland, but apparently he did. So
had a one magical night when he was here for the first 2 months.
Yeah, he did that cool moment where he's like caught the bounce pass between someone's legs from LeBron. But other than that, yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah, I remember that. And then taking a knee when Gordon Hayward just absolutely destroyed his ankle.
Yeah, oof. That's I don't like to keep. I still can't watch that. It's it's pretty gross.
Because it was opening night that year, and that was a rough one to see.
Kyrie Irving's first game in Cleveland against the Cavs.
Yeah.
So shout out Jared Allen, huge night for him as well. Evan Mobley, again, playmaking, scoring, rebounding, hitting threes, 21, 11, and 6. Very similar score stat line to last night, and they needed every bit of it tonight.
Absolutely, especially when it kind of down the stretch there. Definitely did those threes that he hit down the stretch to kind of keep the game close. I mean, this game never felt out of hand. I think the biggest lead was 11 points or something like that. So just, doing what he can to keep him in it. I do feel like maybe we're feeling the effects on the defensive side. There are the lingering effects from last night and just the emotional game and going up against, all of those guys over there, Hartenstein and Dort and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, probably feeling a little drained.
Yeah, absolutely. The good news is they got a couple nights off. So I imagine they're probably not practicing tomorrow. Would be my best
They
guess.
earned a day off.
Yes, they absolutely did. And I thought Kenny did a great job coaching tonight for what it's worth for, dealing with all that stuff. But yeah, it was awesome, man. Kenny once again doing another huge night. So kudos to him for that.
It's impressive that, obviously you're not going to burn everybody to kind of win what was a meaningless game. Really the only thing that they're playing for is to keep their distance on everybody else and keep the streak alive. So good on him to not kind of get caught up in, we have to win this game, knowing like this is a flyover game. Yeah.
Your best player's not playing tonight. He's taking the night to rest. This just kind of figure it out as you go and see what you can make happen, and found a way to win. So those are the kind of the games where you see this coaching staff and you see why they are who they are and why they're in the situation they're in. So definitely really excited about that and a huge win for them as well. Caris LeVert tonight, filling in for Donovan Mitchell, getting the night off. Nice night, 18 points, 5 assists, 4 of 9 from 3, stretched the floor. Really, I mean, like you said, offensively, they really didn't miss a beat. They looked just like they did last night. It was the defensive stuff that was kind of taking them a bit to get going. So, but Caris was great, man. Once again, showing why he should be in the conversation for 6th man of the year, maybe with a couple other Cavs bench players. But what a night for him, man. And just kind of stepping in for Donovan Mitchell, taking on the fact that he's guarding RJ Barrett most of the night, and was really good.
Yeah. Can you vote an entire bench to 6th man of the year?
Yeah, I don't know. I try to think. I remember there was the year that Montrezl Harrell won it, and Dennis Schroeder was second, and they both ended up playing for the Lakers the next year.
Didn't J.R. Smith win 6th man of the year too?
He did in Denver. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, good for Caris. Kind of keeping up with what he was able to do last night. I think that we've said it kind of going into the season, and it's good to see it still to fruition here as we get further into the season. The biggest thing that we wanted from Caris was consistency. Like, can you consistently get me 14 a night? Can do that on a consistent basis? Not give us some empty games where you give us one.
Yeah.
I will never let that down. Goes for 41 in Boston. Next night gives 1.
Man, it's hard out here being a bench guy. Like,
I don't need 41 in Boston and 1 in Cleveland. I need consistently 15.
21 each night. Yeah, 21
exactly.
each night. Yeah, split down the middle. But I think for him, one of the things that really jumps out the most, and we always knew just coming up from his time in Michigan and obviously his time in Brooklyn and Indiana, he was a good playmaker. I didn't realize how good of a playmaker he was, and we've seen stretches this night. Obviously, he's had 5+ assist games a couple times this year, but tonight, man, he just made a ton of plays to help this team out and keep the offense rolling. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running out of ways to give Kenny his flowers because he is getting the absolute best out of every single guy on this roster. Whether it doesn't even need the best scoring numbers. Like, can you affect the game in the best way you can? And a great guy, and we talk about it every night, but a great guy of that is Dean Wade. 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, kind of lower end stats for him. Still a +12 in his plus minus. Still just being a positive effect out there.
And yet another win when Dean Wade is in the lineup.
I know. Stat Muse, if you're listening, we see you.
CC BSS Pod.
We need it on the next one.
Yes, absolutely. Max Strus tonight, 12 points. Feels like he's getting going. Feels like he's getting his legs underneath in the last couple nights. He probably needed a back-to-back. Where the other guys, it was kind of like, we can kind of do here without that. For him, it's first one of the year. I bet that felt pretty good for him to kind of have 2 consistent nights like that.
Absolutely. With missing 27 games out of the 36 that we have played now. No, 37 that we've played now. Probably feels good to have 2 consistent performances. What are your thoughts on, tonight he only shot 3s. So I guess what is your thought? You only want him to shoot 3s? You don't want him to drive? Nothing?
If the driving lane is there, sure. But he's getting paid to hit corner 3s. And he does that really well, amongst the best in the league when he's playing consistently. Not sure how much I love the long hair, but he's got the Ricky Rubio thing going on. But it's working for him, if he's gonna hit shots, then keep it growing, man. Let's just get to
get to looking like Karen Kyle Korver. I saw when you said it the other day. I looked at it. I was like, oh my God, he does look like he's about to ask for someone's manager.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think I saw him open up for Hawthorne Heights the other night. So
you sure he wasn't in Hawthorne Heights?
He might have been. I don't know, man. They might have gotten a new singer. But cute as Kyle Korver, man.
I love Kyle. He's one of my all-time favorite players, but all-time favorite Cavs.
We're getting off track here because it's hard to talk about a back-to-back. But if he hits the shot that he receives that pass from LeBron, we have this whole different conversation about his legacy in Cleveland. He is he's beloved. I mean, he's already beloved, but he's in like that. I'm trying to think. He's like in the Matthew Dellavedova level at that point. He's definitely not like in the Zydrunas Ilgauskas level or like anything like that by any means. But he hits that shot, they win the game, and they have a shot to kind of tie it the next game where they blow them out. We're having a different conversation about his Cleveland time.
I mean, we're having a different conversation if J.R. Smith knew, George Hill hits a free throw, J.R. Smith knew the score, Kyle Korver hit that corner 3, then we would have a 3-0 lead in that series.
Oh, those are 2 different series. I'm talking 17. You're talking 18.
I am talking 18. Damn it.
Yeah. Too many of them in a row.
I know.
That's a conversation there for another time. That's a summer one. Let's just go ahead and start writing down our list of things to talk about in the summer when there's no games going on. after summer league and free agency, when everything's just kind of like wait and see. That's when we have those episodes.
That's when we can sit and speculate what could have been.
Yeah, for sure. Most importantly about tonight, with being 33-4, the Cavaliers are now at 5.5 games up on the Celtics and 8 games up on the Knicks. So that gap is looking nicer and nicer. They are now.
Then you look at those two teams' schedules. I mean,
yeah,
the Knicks' next opponent is the Thunder. And
they already lost. They lost to last week.
Yeah, and I think Boston's playing the Kings, which the Kings are a good feisty team.
I thought they'd be so much better.
I think they thought they would be so much better.
Yeah. But for sure. So you have a chance to see that as well. See how those kind of teams match up. So that Thunder Knicks matchups could be really interesting to me to see how does Oklahoma City bounce back from the Cleveland game, and how do the Knicks bounce back from losing the way they did to them last week. So I'm really excited to see that matchup and see how that plays as well. But before we move on to these two Pacer games, anything else you want to touch on from tonight's game?
I think I want to call out the incredible replay that we had.
Yes.
To make sure that Mobley, hit
put the ball in the rim.
Yeah.
What a basketball IQ play. You're right. Why did we not talk about this? That's just like basketball smarts.
Just like it just needs to touch the rim. Doesn't count. Doesn't matter if it's a shot attempt or anything. Just touch the rim. Yeah,
that was genius. That was just like an awesome heads up play by Mobley that you don't see too often. So
especially from a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, he'll be 24. What, a few months? I can't remember. But yeah, just to have the wherewithal to be like, oh yeah, if I just pen this, we're fine, and did just that. So that was awesome. That made a huge difference in that game.
Especially where we were in the game in the fourth quarter. The momentum was swinging. Definitely needed that. So shout out to Evan Mobley. I know you're listening, but
2 nights in a row that they have these wins, and a big review goes in their favor.
Yeah, because the push off from Donovan Mitchell last night.
Yeah. So you take that absolutely. Notre Dame just tied the game. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. Sorry, people. I said you won't get my football blues, but my football excitement might pop up on a podcast here and there. All right. So now, with that being said, back on track. We need Kevin here to keep us honest, apparently.
Yeah, he's driving. He's either still in Nashville or driving back from Nashville.
Yeah. So now we head on to back-to-back, a home and home with the Indiana Pacers, who, if you haven't been paying attention, people, have found something and have something going on. They're 20-18. Yeah, they're 13 back of Cleveland, which don't even worry about seeding at this point. Cleveland's fine. Everything else is just kind of for organization.
One.
Yeah, but they've won. Let's see. They've won 7 of the last 10. They've won 4 in a row. Tyrese Halliburton's finding a little bit of his stride. Ben Mathurin has played really, really well. They get Andrew Nembhard back. I'm a huge Andrew Nembhard fan. I think he's going to be he's terrific. Pascal Siakam is really fitting in after having an off season with this team, and they're good. They're really good. So back-to-backs against this team. Obviously, we know who they are. They're an offensive team that wants to push the ball down the court and get the best of you. They have one more game before they face Cleveland. They host Golden State on Friday at Gamebridge, which, have you been to Gamebridge?
Mm-mm.
Awesome arena. Awesome
Is
arena.
it?
Yeah. It's a really, really great arena. And it's an awesome fan base. Realistically, it is, man. It's a really, really great fan base. I really like Pacers fans, and I think that they really deserve a really good team. And obviously it's a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals last year, kind of kept their core together, didn't make a whole lot of different changes, but I expect this is going to be a really fun game with 2 high octane offenses who move the ball and are really, really fast. So it's going to be really fun to see how these two teams play against each other the next couple games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how, they're 4 and 5 with Turner and Siakam match up with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, because that was the difference in the Oklahoma City Thunder game was, the bigs. We talked about it last night of, there's 2 of our guys. There's only one of them. This is a pretty good, 2-on-2 for this.
Yeah, Mobley for sure will be the one that's guarding Siakam. You guys talked about this with Luke on NBA Weekly this week, just about him kind of grabbing those big wings. So that's gonna be his matchup for sure. I'm really curious to see after Mitchell had the game where he struggled against OKC. He sits tonight. When he goes back out there, he's gonna be dealing with Andrew Nembhard quite a bit, who is pretty darn good. And then of course the Halliburton Garland situation. How does that play out? How does Rick Carlisle plan out having Halliburton attack those two guards? It's gonna be a really interesting dynamic as well. So these are gonna be two really, really fun games. And I feel good about Cleveland, obviously, against anybody in the league. So I can't pick against them. So I feel like they'll take both, but I would not be shocked if we split these.
I expect us to. I mean, just kind of looking even further out. I expect us to win tomorrow at home, or not tomorrow, Sunday at home. Excuse me. But after that, that's when we start looking at, okay, we go to Indiana. After that, we go to OKC. After that, we go to Minnesota with Ant and Rudy Gobert. So I'm curious how that kind of 3-game road trip against 3 pretty potent teams shakes out, pans out. Because the one for tomorrow, the Pacer game for tomorrow, what does ESPN have?
Me for Sunday
or Sunday? I don't know why I keep saying. I'm just on back to backs. That one's got a 15 to 85 swing Cavs.
Scott is like, I've done a podcast 3 nights in a row. Just give me the 4th.
Let's go, dude. Let's keep ripping them.
I've been there, man. I've done the 9-10 in a row. So they're brutal. You're right though. This is gonna be a really interesting road trip. As far as the Indiana game, OKC, obviously that's gonna be really fun because they have an awesome arena and a great fan base as well. Minnesota, anything can happen, and obviously they have one of the best players in the world, like you mentioned, but not a team I'm necessarily like freaked out about. I don't know how they're freaking like sitting where they are. They're 7th right now, so in the play-in. But yeah, I think it's going to be really big, and I don't necessarily think this is like make or break or like anything like that, but it's going to be a fun few games of challenges for the Cavs coming up these next 4 games.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm scared of the Timberwolves. I think they have Ant is great. Rudy Gobert, they paid way too much for him, but is still a great defender.
How's that come up 3 nights in a row?
I don't know. But like still a great defender, a big man in the paint to go against, our Twin Towers, or our Tower City, I should say.
Tower City, baby.
So, I'm curious those matchups, but I'm very excited about these Pacers games. Like I said, with Miles Turner and Siakam, I'm curious how that's going to shake out. Who's on their bench? Is anybody good on their bench?
Yeah. Ben Mathurin plays on their bench.
TJ McConnell.
Yeah, he's always good. No, I'm not adding you as a favorite. Let's see. Last night against the Bulls.
Obi Toppin.
Oh, man. Obi the dunk machine. Thomas Bryant has started for them last night after they got him in the trade. Ben Shepherd, I like a lot. And he had a really nice game last night. He's a Belmont kid. So there's OVC kids, I'm always rooting for those kids as well, just as much as I'm the Big East kids. And then, Nembhard, Halliburton's starting to get better. He really, really had a really slow start to the year, but he's playing better of late. Last night against Chicago had a 16-13, against Brooklyn had 23-8, and against Phoenix had 27-8, and then against Miami had 33-15. So Halliburton's finding his stride again, which the game is better when Tyrese Halliburton is playing really well.
Yeah, I think the game's better when everybody's playing well. You want the best you want the best of everybody out there,
for sure. But yeah, I think it's a good Pacers team, so I think these are going to be 2 really, really fun matchups. I'm excited to be at one of them for my second Cavs game of the year on Tuesday. So that's going to be nice. But I think with that being said, we can go ahead and wrap out tonight's edition. This week's. What are we?
This week.
of the Block the Shot to Stop. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on back-to-back nights after some incredible back-to-back nights, because you and Kevin did the show with Luca from Real Cavs Fans, which if you haven't listened to already, please check out. Luca gives a lot of great information, such as things to look forward to in the trade deadline, how the salary cap's going to work, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of great information in there for you guys to check out. But yeah, so Sunday, we're back at this for the Pacers game. Going to be a really fun matchup to discuss. This is the one at the Rock. So if you're in Cleveland, show out for this one. Like we said, the world is taking notice of the Cavaliers. I saw Bomani Jones had a segment about the Cavs this week. Right now on pace to win 70 games. So
73.
Pretty incredible. So on behalf of Skylar Webker, on behalf of Kevin Lynch, I'm Tim Daniel. If you're just checking us out for the first time, please, as always, take a second to subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice. If you're checking us out on the YouTube channel, like the many people who have recently joined and subscribed to us, which we definitely are grateful for, please also give a subscription and just like leave us some reviews, talk to us in the shows, leave comments. We respond to every comment. So good or bad, we want to interact with you. We really love it all. So thank you guys so much. Have a good one, and we will talk to you guys Sunday.
Go Cavs.